This ASMR video is going to be a showcase ramble of the Flow Tarot. I've only worked with this deck briefly on a trip to one of the Great Lakes. I thought it was a good deck to have because of the take with me, because of the water theme, obviously. And a lot of times, if I'm going somewhere, I try to bring a deck with me if I feel safe enough to do so. Like, I don't think it's gonna get messed up. If I have a place-based deck or a element or something like that, that's associated with the area. Otherwise, I have a video of this one, like my go-to one that I think is really versatile for traveling is the embroidered graveyard oracle. But anyway, so I brought the Flow Tarot with me, and at night would pull a card. So I just wanted to go through, each of the cards, and then at the end, maybe like I did, I think in my last video, do like a 3-card pull rather than sort of picking random cards as I go along. So let's go ahead. This is the back of the cards. It comes with a guidebook that's larger than the cards. The cards come in a little bag. And so let me go ahead and take this card back. Oh, and you know me, clumsy as ever. It's always too bad in a video where you're trying to talk quietly to make a bunch of noise. So let me just briefly shuffle a little bit. And you might have seen this deck elsewhere. I think I first came across it maybe on Etsy, and then wasn't sure about getting it, but then saw at least one person's video where they just absolutely were in love with this deck. So I looked into it more and decided to get it. So the book itself is very beautiful. It's got the image about the card, like a little affirmation. It's glossy, full color, and I always like to put something down if I'm gonna start talking, just so you at least have something to look at. So she has some card spreads. There's one called The Ocean of Potential, which can be a weekly or monthly spread. Find Your Flow, which is a 3-card spread, and which is past, present, and future. And Into the Light, which is a full moon spread. And so I might try one of these, or we might just do like a basic 3-card pull. So in this deck, the waves are the wands, the pawns are the pentacles, the snow are the swords, and the clouds are the cups. And so that'll be pretty easy to remember, because the first letters of each word, of course, waves, wands, pawns, pentacles, snow, swords, cloud, cups. I love it when people put their own, like they create their own suit, but sometimes I have a hard time then following which one's supposed to be which, but so that's kind of nice that it fits. So let's go ahead and just start going through the cards. So this is one of the major arcana, the Radiant Companion. One of the things that I think I can zoom in now that I don't have the book out. One of the things I like so far about this deck is that here's the moon, the gentle guide. There's keywords on the cards, so it is a tarot deck, but it's also kind of I would call it also like an oracle deck, maybe. The stars is the illuminated path, and you'll see this more in the minor arcana. So we have the Tower, welcome the looming storm. That kind of reminds me of Doctor Who. Where's the balance, the harsh extremes. This has darkness, the transformation. So this is in, it's like in a cave. And these, I think, must be additional arcana. Let's see. So there's the Fool, the High Priestess, Abundant, Collection of Terror, the Transformation. Yeah, so there's, I don't know if they correspond or if they're just additional, the balance and the, I think they might be not additional, but I'd have to look more into that. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep going. So we have the clouds change direction. Okay, that's, yeah, so here's one of the minor arcana. And this is one of the things I like, is that she has like a key phrase, a keyword, the 9 of clouds after the storm. So that, you can use her guidebook, which is wonderful. If you know tarot really well, you can use it. Or if you don't, the cards themselves, have information. So 10 of Wands, so that would be Pentacles, Oasis. It's amazing the variety. Looking at it's amazing to me, the variety. 8 of Wands, Synchronicity. The variety of water that exists out there and the different ways that one can. So here's the 7 of Waves, Enter. And that one, the variations on a theme, I just think that's really amazing. 6 of Waves, Belong. Remember, waves are wands, clouds are cups. So this is the 2 of Clouds, Shared Space. The King of Clouds, Spiraling Renewal. This is one I think I pulled in a show the other day that it's probably the only card I've come across so far that I have sort of visceral negative reaction to thinking of hurricanes as renewal. But that's probably because I grew up in a hurricane country. Page of Clouds, Rise Above. And I'm trying not to judge someone else's use of like a metaphor, right? But it's really harsh, I guess, because it's a photograph maybe, so it doesn't feel as metaphorical. It's almost kind of painful to look at. The Hermit, the unseen connection. But see, it's amazing because like that's a swamp, is one way of looking at water. Or strength, quiet power. So, water eroding over time. So even when the water's not there, sometimes it's there in the absence, right? So Chariot, the flow. The Lovers, their enduring union. That's a beautiful way of, so that's basically the back of the cards. It's really a wonderful image to symbolize that, the sand and the ocean and then the breaking waves. The King of Waves, brave any depth. The Wheel, the cycle of regeneration. You see what I mean? Like, just even called volcano, but it's like, as it hits the water, the magma cools, it creates an island, it creates land. The Ace of Wands, so that'd be Pentacles, one source. Must be a spring. King of Snow, Vision. So we're up, in the Arctic. Ace of Snow, and remember this is swords. Crystallizing moment. Seven of Clouds, distant focus. Nine of Waves, persevere. So I just really liked having this deck. I brought this and I brought the Great Lakes Oracle, which I did in a recent previous video. Five of Snow, break away, because I just felt like they belonged with the trip. Four of Snow, accept stillness. You know, like they kind of fit the theme of that. Three of Snow, locked in ice. We were up near Lake Superior, and I've never been up there before. It's absolutely just beautiful. The floating one between worlds. And I know hopefully at some point we'll get to go again. Justice, the inner reflection. Also found some really neat stones on the shores there. And yeah, the High Priestess, the gift. We actually found a Uper light on accident. I only learned about those maybe a year or two ago. Here's the Magician, the endless waters. They're a rock that fluoresces orange when you shine on it, and it basically looks like granite when you don't. Queen of Clouds, compassion. Sorry, when you shine a UV light on it. So normally people look for them like at night, but we had found so many rocks during the day that we actually just accidentally caught Nine of Clouds bursting. That felt like a real blessing. And we like to be outside a lot, so it was just a neat thing to happen. Two of Snow, the path. But anyway, it's cool because if you shine UV light on it, it literally looks like it's glowing orange from the inside. Five of Wands, scarcity. So like it almost looks like there's magma or something in it. It's just really amazing. Four of Wands, smoothest route, or route, depending on how you like to pronounce that word. Three of Wands, blending energies. And I'm wondering if that's, maybe it's all the different things, like there's water, land, sunshine, fog, light, darkness. I'm not sure if that's what she was going for, but that's kind of what I take out of it. Two of Wands, many paths. I like the use of using a waterfall that way. Six of Clouds, wonder. These are beautiful photographs too. I need to look and see if these are all her photographs or not, or if they're, if like she found, you know, Creative Commons ones or something. Five of Clouds, blanketed. The world, you are complete. The Hierophant, channel. So, I mean, I think it's amazing that she could take one thing, like water, and really, like I said, so many variations on the theme. Judgment, the deep unknown. And they're all beautiful images. And photographic text really are starting to go on me. The Emperor, the vast network. And, yeah, but I think it takes a lot of skill to be able to, like, see into a landscape and read into a landscape in that way. The Empress, the abundant source. Six of Wands, sharing abundance. It's one of the things, if I ever actually complete the Oracle deck I want to do, that I'm striving for is, you know, sort of using images as metaphors. It's Five of Waves, flow around adversity. Isn't that neat? I think the real skill with her is, well, not real skill, a lot of real skill, but is in making it also specifically a tarot deck, because in Oracle deck you can kind of make it as you want, right? Ten of Clouds, connection. Whereas with the tarot, you're a little more, there's 4 of clouds waiting for rain. You're a little more, there's a little more structure that you have to follow. So too, we actually drove through a pretty big thunderstorm on the way up there. And one like that where you could see there were sheets of rain from far away. Queen of Waves, Radiant Harmony. I like going in the ocean, but I also am very afraid of jellyfish, even though I've never been stung. Knights of Waves, Seek New Horizons. Page of Waves, Delight and Adventure. Ten of Waves, Let Go. Page of Pawns, Boundless Curiosity. It's very cute. Knight of Pawns, Against the Flow. There's a salmon running upriver. Queen of Pawns, Resourceful. It's interesting the use of frogs. This is the second frog. I think it's the second one. Yes, because of the amphibian, they're amphibians. So they're land and water dweller. King of Pawns, Interconnected. Ace of Clouds, Overflowing. I think one of the other things that actually attracted me in this deck is starting to attract me now. They're sort of water decks. Was realizing how much, even though I don't think about, Three of Clouds, Saturate, even though I don't necessarily think of myself as like a water person, a lot of the places I've lived, I guess a lot of the places anybody lives are on water, because like that's even settlements. There's a Nine of Ponds and safe harbors. But I guess I've always, not always, but I've often lived around big bodies of water, whether that be lakes, oceans, or rivers. Eight of Ponds, carved by time. So it's more sort of like this, it's water, but it's the scale of it. Seven of Ponds, embrace change. And I love thunderstorms, love rain, except when it gets in my basement. Four of Waves, Sanctuary. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so I think it kind of has more of a draw on me than I think about. I also love swimming, so this is Three of Waves, Dive Deeper. Two of Waves, Surging Power. Also, thank you for listening. Sometimes I just sit here and like ramble about my life as I show you these cards. Ace of Waves, a ripple of energy. Queen of Snow, clarity. I'd love to see the northern lights. I've never seen them before. The Knight of Snow, adapt. I've never seen an Arctic fox, but I did actually see a red fox recently for the first time. He was running across the road, so it was very brief. But Page of Snow, emerge, and I've actually seen a gray fox as well. That was kind of a showdown in the middle of the forest. Ten of Snow, perspective. Nine of Snow, overwhelmed. They can't all be her photographs, otherwise she'd be like a National Geographic explorer. So I have to look at this. Eight of Snow, stuck, or look into this. I'll try to look real quick before we go into the reading. Seven of Snow, deceiving. It's kind of interesting, yeah, because it's like, what's the tree and what's the snow? Six of Snow, lids of fire. So let's go ahead and look at the book. Let me see if I can find information on the images. the acknowledgements. Thank you to so-and-so, 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 so. So there's a section about water rituals. Okay, here's about the flow tarot. Okay, oh, here's some information. Yes, about. Okay, so some of those major arcana cards were changes. So she changed the Hanged Man to the floating one, Death to darkness, Temperance to balance, and the Star to the stars. I don't know if we're seeing that. All of the images were chosen, and many of them specifically created to fulfill the connection between the card's meaning and an image of Earth. The deck is not an artistic rendering, instead made of photos and photorealistic digital art, so that you can imagine becoming a part of this real place on planet Alpine. I'm not sure what she means by that. Photorealistic digital art. I don't know if she means AI or what. So far I don't see anything. I'll have to look on her website. Unless she took all those photos, I wish she did say where they're from. And that may just be because I am a fan of provenance, as well as, like making sure, where an image is from, which I say provenance. So, and who created it. Like, it always makes me a little nervous. Like, is this deck copyrighted? Like using the images without someone's permission. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume she's either using public domain or Creative Commons. I'm sorry that that's important to me. Or images that she or friends have taken. But anyway, so let's go ahead. Now that I put that sort of negative energy out there, let me go ahead and do a spread. And why don't we take, this is what's funny, is in the beginning she has a copyright notice and makes sure to say, no part of this book or the accompanying cards may be reproduced in any way, then whole or in part, etc., etc. But it's not clear whether or not these are her own photos, and therefore, like, if she's doing copyright infringement, I guess you could argue transformative use. Sorry, copyright nerd here. Okay, so let's see. We have, how about just, I am not as adventurous at the moment to do more than probably like the past, present, future. So she has find your flow, past, present, future, and in this case she has the one in the middle and kind of up. So she has present. I guess let me go back out a little bit here. She has present, past, and future. And the way she words it is, the present is what energy is swirling around me. The past, the card on the left, what am I leaving behind? And the card on the right is the future. What am I flowing into? So let's see. What is swirling around me? The Ten of Snow, perspective. And my memory is crap, so I already have to relook at the. So what energy is swirling around me? Is perspective, past, what am I leaving behind? The Nine of Snow, overwhelmed, lovely. And what am I flowing into? Waiting for rain, Four of Clouds. So I'm going to kind of do my own reading for myself. Hopefully you can do your own reading too. Feel free to pause and look at the cards on your own. I'll do sort of my thoughts, just seeing the images and the keywords, and then I'll actually read for those cards. So let's see again, let me make sure. So what energy is rolling around me, leaving behind going into? So I'm glad that, I wonder if perspective is flowing around me. I guess maybe a little bit, in that there's certain things that sort of I'm realizing that I didn't before, or I'm learning to discern better than I did before. And I hope this is what I'm leaving behind. I do still get yesterday I almost had a panic attack, so clearly I'm not leaving overwhelmed behind. But that's just, I'll always have that, I'll always be in this state to some degree. But as I've said in other previous videos, I like that a theme that seems to be coming up in a lot of my readings is the idea that the insanity of my recent past, and by recent I mean the past couple of years, and I'm not even talking about COVID, forget that, but there's been so many curveballs, it's been extremely overwhelming, and I'm already someone prone to overwhelm, so I'm glad that is, let's just have that for the way. And then what am I moving into? Waiting for rain. What I find interesting about that, and also I think hopeful to me, is the idea, I normally think of waiting for rain as oh my god, we're gonna drown, but almost an impatience, waiting as impatience versus waiting as anticipation or calm. I've got overwhelmed in the past, but existing in the future in a state of calm, not necessarily yet getting the rain, getting the new life, right? But at least entering a period of stability so that you can be in a place to receive rain. So to me that's hopeful for myself, and I think it's especially helpful. I never know with cards, I don't know other people's experience, I always love to hear it if people want to share, but experience when you're reading a card with cards, sort of what you take from it, predictive versus reflective versus whatever, or if you see something come up again and again, does that mean something to you? Does it not? To me, I feel like it oftentimes can. I find it reassuring. I'm not sure if I necessarily believe there's something mystical, but there's something mystical whether or not you believe it's mystical or not. You know what I mean? Whether you think there's some higher power behind it doesn't really matter. I guess I have to remember myself, that doesn't really matter as long as you're letting, I guess I'm trying to say is things can be magical without necessarily believing in magic as a thing, witchcraft or things like that. You can see magic and the connections between things. To me, it's magical that readings lately for me often have this theme, And maybe that's just because I want to see that. So I'm reading into it. But even if so, like, does that matter? If that's what I need to hear, and that's what I need to tell myself, that may be what I need to tell myself. You know, like, because I don't, it's like you don't want to, what am I trying to say? You don't want to, like, lead yourself on, I guess. But I also think if what's jumping out to you is what's jumping out to you, okay, like this, like I'm not like, oh, now my future's bright. It's like, no, it's just hopefully entering a place of calm. Or alternatively, I think the thing to think for myself is not so that it's just sort of stumbling into calm, because it may not be. I don't know what the future holds, but that I could bring to my future trying to find a state of calm, or if not calm, my version of calm. Like I said, calm's a relative state. So like learning to be in a place of not overwhelm again. So anyway, let me go ahead. Now that I've like I always say, it truly is a ramble video. So let's go ahead though. Let me read the entries for these cards, and then that way, you know, if a sort of a story for yourself didn't pop out for these 3 cards, just by seeing them, maybe by reading them, something will. And it's also, again, I like to, when I'm making these videos, make sure you get some exposure to like the deck as a whole, so that it's not just the cards, but the guidebook. So 9 of Snow, overwhelmed. The glacier rises up like a wall in front of you, miles long and thousands of feet deep. It is undeniably massive. It has to be. Glaciers store most of the world's fresh water, up to 70% of it. Looking up, the sheer mass of compressed snow and ice is overwhelming. But stepping back, the true scale becomes clear. It's not a wall, but a vast, slow-moving river of ice. Only when you change your perspective. Ooh, I love things like that. It's like we got perspective right there. Change your perspective. Can you truly begin to appreciate the beauty of this powerful and ancient force of nature? The 9 of Snow reminds you that the fear gripping you is not necessarily reality. Are you imagining a scenario as worse than it is? Stop the cycle of unfair comparisons. Refrain from negative self-talk. Walk back from the situation that is bearing down on you and keep moving until you see the bigger picture. Find any way you can to reframe your view. Even one positive action in the face of fear can help you break the grip of what's overwhelming you. How can you rebuild your self-confidence? How do you tune out your fears? I breathe out my fears. And so for the present, or what's swirling around, is the 10 of Snow and perspective. It is the coldest night of the year. From every edge, icicles hang down like razor-sharp daggers. Nothing moves in the frozen silence. The bitter cold is dangerous. Plants and creatures cannot survive in it. If you're exposed to the freezing temperatures for too long, you'll die too. All around you, the world seems frozen in a night that will never end. The 10 of Snow suggests you're moving through the deepest part of a personal winter. This card brings you face to face with hardship, grief, even loss. Whatever you are going through, it fills up your vision. It's a dark night of the soul. Right now, find ways to be gentle with yourself. Wrap yourself in warmth and compassion. Look for gifts in the darkness. Seek out signs of change. Icicles are constantly transforming, simultaneously melting and refreezing. The journey through heartache is sometimes like this, stopping and restarting. Like icicles, you can hold more than one state at a time too. You can acknowledge the darkness and still find ways to flow toward the light. Shift your perspective. The dark night is preparing you for a new day. Even when frozen, I still flow. That also, like, again, I can't tell if I'm like, did all cards telling you the same thing? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting the same message over and over again, and I can't tell if that's the message I need, or if I'm just reading it again. Like, when I say reading into it, I'm always sort of torn because I'm like, isn't that, in my mind, that's kind of what you're doing, no matter what. Is reading into it. I feel like for me, part of intuition is having you reading into it, but you're reading into it honestly. And by honestly, I mean you can tap into your intuition well, so that what you're hearing is true to where you are, or who you are at the moment. So here we go. 4 clouds waiting for rain. This is for the future. What am I flowing into? The storm's been building for a while. You can see it on the horizon, smell the lightning in the air, feel the wet wind on your skin, but still the rain doesn't reach you. You've made plans around its arrival. Your needs may be pressing, like crops desperate for rain, or a little more personal, like deciding to postpone an outdoor gathering due to bad weather. Either way, the outcome is the same. You're caught in this moment, watching the sky and waiting for a rainstorm that may never come. The 4 of clouds reminds you not to get mired in what you are waiting on. Those expectations may lead to apathy, disappointment, or even a twinge of resentment. Instead, focus on where you can take action, even if it's just a shift in your perception. There we go with that perspective again. The rains will come. Until then, embrace flexibility. Refocus on the positive, break away from disappointment. Refocus on the positive, break away from disappointment, and make the best of this moment. Where can you refocus on what you really need? How can you flow through this moment until your expectations and reality align? And it says, I do what I can. And I feel like my answer is what I talked about earlier. How can I flow this moment? Which is waiting. And waiting in the positive sense, like I said, of like patience and, be calm. The waiting that's like, sitting on a front porch in a rocking chair kind of waiting. Like you're just there. And, waiting for an opportunity to arise, or waiting for the next step in your life to be revealed, or, waiting for Godot. I don't know. But, anyway, so that's the Flow Tarot. I'm showing you the cards. I read from the book. I've done one of her spreads, and hopefully this video has been helpful for you or enjoyable, depending on whether you're watching it for the ASMR, for the tarot oracle, or for both. As always, if you have your own thoughts about or feelings about this deck, about this spread, on what it says to you, always love to hear it. And also, if you have photographic decks you recommend, would also love that as well. So I hope you have a good day or night, and I hope to see you again soon.